Welcome back to the Food Centre. I'm Alexi. I've got with me today, I've got Michael and I've got Emma, and today we're going to be cooking a French style dish called a ratatouille. A ratatouille, as I think they pronounce it there. We're also going to be making marinated zucchinis, because at the moment there's so many zucchinis around the place. They're really cheap and they're absolutely tasty when you prepare them right. So in the ratatouille, we can get the EasyFeast packs that are available off the shelf here at the Food Centre for under $5 to feed yourself. Very good value, and we're combining it with herbs that Emma's just picked from money in the garden. So in these EasyFeast packs, they have all the ingredients you'll need. So you've got all your fresh vegetables there, and it's got an easy to follow recipe in here as well. Let's get into it. Alright guys, first thing you have to do before you do any form of cooking is to make sure you wash your vegetables. Remember, food safety hygiene is paramount. For the marinated zucchinis, we're going to make them in a very simple way. So all it is we're going to use a couple of zucchinis, we're going to thinly slice them. I'm going to fry them in the pan here, and then we're going to make a vinaigrette with oil, mustard seeds, some lemon, some garlic, and some of the fresh herbs from the garden, and some salt and pepper to taste. So this is a really good way to use up those zucchinis that are coming up the garden, whether this is too much or your friends won't take anymore. And you can also use the ones that are a little bit beaten up or they've got scratches on them, and this is a nice way of not letting that food go to waste. Okay? I'm just chopping this really fine, because then when we fry it up, it'll just become nice and soft. So what we're going to do here is we've got the zucchinis, we're going to add some salt into them, and then we're going to add them into the pan, and then we're just going to fry them till they're soft, and then set them aside. This recipe also calls for a lot of garlic, which is probably my one true love in the kitchen. You might be wondering, why am I beating up the garlic? But what it does is after you've hit it with the back of the knife, the whole skin comes off really easily, and that means that we can cut off the base and then put some salt in it and chop it all up, and the salt helps it chop up nice and fine. I'll start chopping that onion up and get that onion soft. For this particular dish, the onions are really roughly chopped because that gives that more texture to the vegetables. Next step will be pouring capsicum. And another thing is when you add a little bit of salt to the onions when they're frying as well, the salt helps pull the moisture out of the onions and helps them caramelize and golden up a bit faster as well. Don't need much. So Michael's done a fantastic job preparing these potatoes. We're going to microwave them to make it a little bit faster in the cooking. He's done a great job chopping up the capsicum. He's going to chop up the zucchinis, and then we're going to add it into the one pot and cook it with tomatoes as a foundation. And that will be the basic part of the ratatouille. And then we're just going to add some herbs, and that's basically it, really. Then we'll be serving on the sourdough bread. It's going to be great. Nice, even cuts. come and have a close look at this. Bring the camera over. See how beautiful and translucent all the onions starting to get, and that's being barely touched. That's just from the salt pulling out all that moisture from them. Alright, what I'm going to do now is I've chopped up a heap of garlic. I'm going to add some of this into the ratatouille, and I'm going to save the rest for the vinaigrette for the marinated zucchinis. So put a good whack of that in there. That's starting to smell real good. I'm just going to chop in now where Emma's been grilling the zucchinis, just to take the bite off of the garlic. So she's basically done all the zucchinis now, and just putting it at the very end, just so it doesn't burn. I'm going to add a little bit of the lemon zest into the vinaigrette as well. Not too much to make it bitter, but just enough to give it a nice, brighter citrus note. If you want it a little bit thicker, you can always add some tomato paste. It's smelling great, Emma. You're doing such a good job. We're going to be adding the vegetables straight in. Once they're in, we'll give it a good stir. And while we're at it, we're going to be adding some nice smoked paprika rounded up that we found right on the shelf, straight from the food centre. And for the next part of the vinaigrette, we're going to add over the marinated zucchinis. I'm just going to take some of the herbs from our garden, and then I'm going to chop them up nice and fine. I've got some lemon juice from the one that I've squeezed up. I'm going to be adding some oil into that, whisking it finely with the herbs, and then we're just going to drizzle over the grilled zucchinis that Emma's done. Ratatouille calls for whatever herbs are in season. So this is normally a meal that's done in the height of summer. You've got lots of tomatoes, a lot of zucchinis around, and whatever herbs are around. You can use basil, we've been growing basil, got parsley. For us, we've got plenty of oregano at the moment, and we've got some parsley growing. So that's what we're going to use. You can use whatever you got in the garden. I've squeezed the lemons and I've just strained them into there. So we've got all the lemon juice in here. We're just going to add a bit of oil for the marinated zucchinis. Just going to mix it and whisk it all up together to combine it. And then I think we'll be ready just to throw it over the top. So the zucchinis are there, they've been grilled, we've added a little bit of garlic into there. We chuck this over the top and we're going to add some of these herbs from Michael. Nice herby vinaigrette.
Popping the zucchini into the fridge to help marinate it.
Now in the EasyFeast Ratatouille pack, there is the dried parsley there, but I tell you what, nothing beats the real thing. Best thing to have with any full meal is nice, slightly toasted bread, just to add that crunch at the end of your meal. Vegetables. The sauce has already got the flavour in it. All I'm going to do now is turn it on a little bit lower, and I'm just going to put the lid on there and let it steam and cook itself in. So what I'm doing now is I'm just taking a piece of garlic, I've peeled it, and I'm just going to be rubbing it onto the bread. You want to come over here and have a look? So this way it gets a nice garlic flavour when we grill it. It's not overpowering, and just gives a nice subtle flavour to it. Oh, look at that. That is looking and smelling excellent. Got the bread's been grilled, a little bit of oil, just had the garlic rubbed in it, and now we just got a little bit of herbs over the top, and we put a little slight bit of salt over the top as well to give it a bit more flavour. And that's ready to go for the ratatouille and for the marinated zucchinis. Bellissimo! As we can see, the ratatouille is nearly finished off. All that flavour is now inside all the vegetables. They're much softer now. How does it smell, Emma? Is it alright?
Ah, it smells amazing.
Looks done to me. Michael, don't you reckon? I reckon it is complete. Thank you, Emma and Michael, for helping me out cooking today. This food looks fantastic. Appreciate it. Bon appetit.
Bon appetit.